Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. This is proof number 1, the human fingerprint. Think about your fingerprint, think about my fingerprint. Don't think too much about my fingerprint, but mainly your fingerprint. Think about how it's unique to everybody else's fingerprint. Think about how many billions of people there are in the world. Think about all those people that lived in the world in the past. Your fingerprint is different to everybody else's fingerprint in the present and in the past. Now, how could that be possible? Could it be random? Could it be that your fingerprint is just generated randomly and it just happens to be different to everybody else's? Take for example numbers, randomly generating some numbers. You can do this on Excel, you can do it on a scientific calculator. If you take some numbers and you randomly generate the numbers, sooner or later the numbers will repeat. You'll get a new number that is the same as one of the numbers that you've already had before. And if you do it for numbers that are in the hundreds, or if you do it for numbers that are in the millions, the principle is the same. Sooner or later, you will get a number that is the same, is a duplicate of a number before. For numbers in the millions, it'll take a lot longer, but the principle is the same. There's no guarantee that every single time you'll get a unique number. Sooner or later, you'll get a duplicate. But fingerprints aren't like that. Every single fingerprint, yours and mine, is unique. So they couldn't have been randomly generated. So now start to think about, well, if they weren't randomly generated, if your fingerprint wasn't randomly generated, then how was it generated? Well, think about, what does it take to design a fingerprint and make sure that it's unique, it's different to every single fingerprint in the world, present or in the past. If you think about what it takes, firstly, you need a master database. You need a master database, meaning a database that can hold every single fingerprint design that's ever been produced, that's ever been in existence. That's for people living today and for people living in the past. With this master database, then you can reasonably think that there'll be a way of making sure that the next fingerprint that emerges from a baby that's just about to be born, for example, is going to be different, because you can check, you can compare the new fingerprint to all the fingerprints in existence in order to make sure there's no duplicate. But who's powerful, or what being, which entity, who is powerful enough, who is knowledgeable enough, who is amazing enough to be able to hold a master database of every single fingerprint of every human being in the past and now here in the present? Who is amazing? Who is powerful enough to be able to design a new fingerprint and instantly check that fingerprint, or instantly design that fingerprint in a way that it doesn't conflict, it doesn't duplicate any of the fingerprints in the past? For me, I think I know that answer, but you have to come to your own decision. Who is there? Which being is there? Which entity is there that is able to have a master database of all the fingerprints and is able to design a new fingerprint that does not conflict, that is unique to all the fingerprints that have ever been in existence?